Happy Heritage Day, South Africa. I am Siwaphiwe Myataza-Mzansi and I'm your host. Today, we celebrate and embrace our different cultures, traditions, and backgrounds. And as Masiviwe, we aim to improve knowledge around mental health challenges, but also we want to break the stigma. And we want to do this through increasing access to mental health services. Today, we will be unpacking some of the cultural practices that are associated with helping mental health. And we are joined by Mkhulu MahlathiniGP. She is a spiritual coach, and I'm very excited to have this conversation, to also just get insights from her. Thokoza gogo.
Thokozani, thank you for having me. It is an honor to be here and unpack some of those practices that help with mental health.
Thokoza gogo. Oftentimes, when people think or talk about culture in relation to mental health, we focus on the negatives. And I just want to ask Mkhulu, do we have some cultural practices that have positive impact on our mental health?
We do. I would really like to believe that we do. Growing up, you are still a child and you don't understand some of the things that your elders are teaching you to do. But on a later stage, you're like, actually, that thing that they taught me helps me calm down, calms me down. And it's not really major things, like simple things such as beadwork, or connecting with animals, maybe ekhaya kunesibaya, there's a crow, then they tell you, things about the cow dung, what it does, things like you are able to speak with animals, they have a language, they can connect with you, and also music. We take music as something that we relax, we drink, we do that. But really, it is a sense of healing that you find in music, especially with music that is connected to our heritage, that is connected to abapansi, not just that music that you play on radio or like in your car and whatnot. No, those dances that we do culture to culture, they differ, but they really do connect us, and they make our souls to become in a way, even how they will teach you how to, me personally, I'm Ndebele, but I grew up as Mupedi, because where I come from, it's a mixture of Ndebele and Mapedi.
Yeah.
So they will teach us how to use the cow dung to make izindlu, hearts, and then to also do like la pants, la long, and you're like, what? So I'm gonna touch this. But if you think about it, it's those things that really connect you to the earth plane. You find a sense of peace, even the whole thing of them cooking on the ground, you're like, it's too hot but really when you go back to those things, they help. Lastly, it's the clothing. What you're wearing says so much, and it plays a huge role in your spirit, in your soul, because, well, I know about black manyora, but if you think about it, yes, but you will be drawn into that darkness because you like this thing which you want to close yourself in.
Yes.
I will talk about your color. You're wearing yellow. It's bright, and then it's colorful. What does it bring? It brings happiness.
Yes.
So they have clothes that they wear, and you're like, okay, these traditional clothes, what do they stand for? What are they for? But then there's a significant reason why they're wearing them. They're even saying they want to pass that on to their children so that when they are no longer there, we know and we celebrate in those clothes. And when you look at them, they even have ingubo, like clothes like these. Don't mean to busy where you have to go twice and whatnot. No, it connects you and it brings that happiness, the light, purity. So yeah, I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Also, Gogo, I do want to say that because ndikhule ndingumXhosa and khulele Eastern Cape, bathi ke xa ulayita ikhandlela elimhlophe neliyelo kunendlela ukuthi ufumane ukuthula emoyeni, and at times it does assist with mental health. Is that true, Gogo?
Absolutely, 100%. It is true. It is so true. And because they are bright colors, it's ikhandlela emhlophe or ikhandlela eliyellow or orange. It brings about that sense of peace, that calmness in you. So sometimes you would tell a person to meditate, but when you talk about meditation, people think, how am I gonna meditate? But really, meditate, it's ukjula. Even if we are hamba as umuntu, you go to a mountain and just be there, or you go to the river, just stand there, like take in the fresh air that's there. It will really help you. When you come back, uzobu calm, so those are some of the things that one does to calm down.
Just the last one, Gogo, before I move to my next question. There's also a belief that when you put a white duck underneath your pillow, you get beautiful dreams compared to nightmares and just darkness. I'm not sure if that is true. Can you please elaborate and just assist us?
It is true. It is absolutely true. You can just put it under your pillow. You can even just pray before you put it there and just say, can I have nice dreams? And then you can put your candle on, a white candle. You will sleep like a baby, believe me. Even if you were to take 8 glasses of water, water is just water from the tap. Just put it there, put your hands and say, can I get healing from this? And drink it. Believe me, you will find the peace.
So, Gogo, just looking at today's world and how things are at the moment, we are more empowered compared to the older generation, and for them, it's even mental health is still a new thing. And I just wonder, how can we have conversations about mental health with the older generation, especially those who didn't acknowledge the impact their experiences had on their mental health?
Well, lately, I will be honest with you, the power of radio and TV mediums, they really do play a role. I'm in the TV industry, and I've realized that through education, with the stories that we tell, these elders are able to adapt very quickly. I will be very surprised when I'm home and then they're talking about one of the shows that I write for, and they're like, yeah, you saw so and so gang, and then bashuguti awumelanga when they saw, because it will affect you, you will have stress in, and I'm like, oh, slowly these people are coming, they're coming, and they're not really so reluctant. So we need to just not be scared to engage them. The only thing is that we need to take them step by step, not just say, no, yes, depressor, waking us up 5. That is very depressing and whatnot. We need to come with respect. That's where comes respect, humility, be able to be on their level of thinking, so that when you speak to them, they're able to understand what you're saying. Don't come too powerful. They won't hear you. They won't hear you. But they are slowly adapting. They are coming. They're ready slowly. Yeah.
I'm screaming when you're saying ningazozivusa ngo 5 a.m. because the Eastern Cape umakoti kumele avuke ngo 5 a.m. ayenze ikofu aphungise abantu. But also, Gogo, how can the idea of Ubuntu, the spirit of Ubuntu, play a positive role in helping those who struggle with their mental health? Just kindness, to show kindness and support.
Really, you see, Ubuntu does play a big role, especially in mental health, because the minute Ubuntu comes to you, and then reception yako is not of welcoming, you are going to make that person worse. But no one comes and and they're telling you they nearly took their lives. You as a counselor, whether it's spiritual or it's a mental institution, you need to be able to have Ubuntu, understand their pain, understand what pushed them to do that. Don't be judgmental and say, do you know how expensive a funeral is? You know, Mina, back in the years, before I started the journey, I once wanted to do that. And then this one doctor said to me, do you know how expensive a funeral is? You know, so that is insensitive, you know. So when somebody comes with into Njali, you need to be able to calm them down and say, you understand. That's where Ubuntu is. Yeah.
Also, Mkhulu, in closing, I do want to ask, because we get different advices and different counseling, how do we separate good mental health tips from the bad ones?
Yeah, that's a tough one, but it goes back to self-discovery. You know, you yourself, you need to then get home and assess all of this, because at the end of the day, you will get an advice from one person, then that other person, and then on radio, they're saying this, on TV. You need to be alone by yourself and just do your own assessment to which, okay, I wanna be on the path of light. How do I do it? I wanna be calm at all costs. So what is it that, like I said, you go to the mountains, to the rivers, you speak to whoever that you believe in, your source of light, that can you please guide me? And I want to be okay. So based on what so-and-so said, Mina, I want you to guide me. You will be fine. I've seen results.
Yeah. But also, Mkhulu, how do we trust and pass these practices, these cultural practices, just to make sure that we preserve them and they are passed to the next generation?
Well, it's a hard one now, because you see, I'm a 2000, they're on another level right now. Those kids have got absolutely no time. You can't tell them anything, but we need to not stop trying. We should just make sure whenever we have the chance, we can just teach them, you know, because one thing I know is that they are willing to learn, but they have questions. They will want to know why you want them to do this. Why do you want them to pasha? Who are they passing to? Who are these people? So you need to just not be impatient with them. Just be patient with number 2000. Yeah. Also, kukhona a proverb mina ekhaya bathi umntwana ufundiswa sasemncane. So while they are still like 6, that's when you need to teach them. Don't wait until they're 14 to want to instill these practices to them. Because once you teach a child that we pray like Kaya, siyapahla like Kaya, this is what we do, they will adapt. They will not forget that. So that thing will be here. Even when they grow up, they will remember that Ugogo used to say, hi, we are going to feed the cows. We are going to do this and that, you see. So, igotshwa isesengane.
Thank you, Gogo. Thank you so much for joining us. And I mean, what can I say? I'm really thankful that we have people like you who are holding our hands to say, you have to remember where you come from. You have to remember how we do things. I'm so thankful for this conversation. That was Gogo Mkhulu MahlathiniGP. She's a spiritual coach. Thank you so much for tuning in for this one.
Thokozani, thank you so much for having me. I hope this will help someone or people out there that they can find that sense of healing. Ngiyabonga, Thokozani.
Thank you for tuning in for this conversation, but also I do want to say that I feel very empowered just by knowing that not all cultural practices are bad after all. And also they do bring in harmony to our mental health, and that really matters. And that's what we want to teach, especially for people who don't know about some of the practices that can be associated with mental health.